Tom is so loyal. I mean, he's not because he's a big fat cheater and he's only on these shows because he cheated on Ariana Madix and that's how he got on the Traitors and now that's why he's on House of Villains. But in this game, he's trying really, really hard to stay loyal to Tyson. What's up, everybody? We've made it to episode 6 of House of Villains, which was quite an entertaining episode, I must say. I have been commending the editing this season, and I really do feel like they have built up a good season. I feel like every episode has gotten better. I was a little iffy on it the first few episodes, but we've really got it going on, especially last week when Kate really flipped the game on its head. We came into this episode with Drita really liking Kate's gangster moves by targeting the entire orange room of Johnny, Ashley, and Paul. And Kate and Drita have all been thinking that Tom should just be not trusting Tyson and that Tom is the one that pushed Kate hard enough to save Tyson from being nominated this week. But two really big things happened at the beginning of this episode. We had Tyson wanting to play pranks now that he was safe and turned up the heat in the house, which made Kate get out of bed in the middle of the night and find Ashley's book of notes. Now, I'm not 100% convinced that this storyline was not pushed by production, honestly, because it just seems like some really good timing that Kate finds Ashley's notebook of notes in the game right before Ashley's sickness catches up to her and she has to be pulled from the game. So Ashley was pulled from the game, which sucks for Ashley, even though I don't think she was playing that good of a game this season, to be honest. I think she was going way too hard to try and be in an alliance of men, and I don't think it was really working for her. But in the notes that Kate found, she saw that on one side there was an alliance of Ashley, Johnny, Paul, Tyson. On the other side was like the other people, Kate herself, New York, Drita, Christine. But then in the middle was Tom. And so finding that, she of course wants to blow that up to Tom, that maybe Tom really shouldn't trust Tyson. We had Johnny Bananas come back. They just cannot put Johnny Bananas on TV enough. Apparently, he came to host this challenge and announced that Ashley was rushed to urgent care and had to be taken from the game. Johnny was funny in this episode, though. I'm not going to hate. I liked his gonorrhea joke that Ashley got gonorrhea, which affected the Middlebrook region because she was sleeping with Johnny. But it sucks for Ashley that she got removed. But the twist was that Kate had to pick a third person to be nominated again because Kate was out and they still need to do a challenge. Kate had all the ammo now to choose Tyson. She talked about Ashley's notebook and she gave the note to Tom to see that he was in the middle. And yet Tom still wanted to protect Tyson. Tom is so loyal to Tyson. Tom is so loyal. I mean, he's not because he's a big fat cheater and he's only on these shows because he cheated on Ariana Madix and that's how he got on the Traitors and now that's why he's on House of Villains. But in this game, he's trying really, really hard to stay loyal to Tyson. So I guess he's loyal to the bros. The challenge itself was quite entertaining where each person between Paul, Tyson, and Johnny, who were now on the block, had to find minions each round to do a challenge for them. And during most of these rounds, Tyson was able to get Tom to do every single round for him, which is crazy, and I guess really should show the house how much Tyson has Tom under his thumb or how loyal Tom is being to Tyson. Johnny got a lot of help from Drita in these. Paul got a lot of help from Christine in these. At one point, New York actually helped Paul by having a spider put on her face for one of the rounds, which was surprising to me. And then in one of the rounds, Tyson had to Well, they had the choice to either kiss someone for 30 seconds, make out for 30 seconds, or have a banana eating contest. And Tyson got New York to make out with him, even though he's married and she's engaged. But I guess they wanted to give TV, and they did. In that round, Drita and Christine battled it out in a banana eating contest, and Drita beat Christine. Drita was Johnny's minion, and Christine was Paul's. So that put Paul behind the rest of the challenge. Paul ends up losing, whereas Johnny and Tyson had a tiebreaker where they had to eat these gross-looking worms, hornworms or something, hornworms, and Tyson beat Johnny apparently just by one worm. I don't know how they ate 30 and 29 worms in just 1 minute. I feel like that was editing. But if not, I mean, either way, Tyson did great. Not surprised. I'm sure he had to do that in one of his Survivor seasons. Eat something gross. He was still early enough on Survivor when they had those gross eating challenges. So Tyson stays safe, and it came down to Paul versus Johnny. And Paul was feeling on the outs, and it really seemed like Paul was on the outs. And maybe it was just the editing, but I was definitely surprised by this week's vote when it came down to the House voting out either Paul or Johnny. First of all, though, Kate was really trying to get through to Tom that Tyson is not with him, because not only was Tom in the middle in Ashley's notes, but when Kate was the supervillain, Tyson kept coming to her with deals, and Tom was not included, even though Tom was trying to save Tyson's ass the whole time. Tyson ended up hearing them talking about him, and so Tyson and Kate and Tom all had a conversation about if Tyson is really with Tom or not. Tyson tried to pull it off and reel Tom back in, and I think he was half successful, but now Tyson felt like he had to prove himself to Tom and vote the way that Tom wanted him to. With the editing, they were definitely making it seem like Johnny was getting enough votes. Johnny interrupted Paul and New York talking about the vote. Johnny seemed to get New York's vote. I also want to say, I feel like New York is playing, dare I say, a good social game this season. There was a time she went off on Drita for no reason. But outside of that, I feel like she's in with Tyson, even though Tyson's in with everyone. But she has that connection with Kate. She is working both Paul and Johnny this round. I feel like Christine respects New York, so I do want to give New York a little bit of credit for her social game. So Tyson really wanted to get rid of Paul this round because he felt as though he's always heard that Paul is this mastermind. And clearly, Tyson is trying to be the mastermind this season, who has all these connections throughout the house, even though he was exposed in this episode. It was definitely still what he was trying to accomplish. But he feels like he owes Tom and needs to vote with Tom, so he went to Johnny to try and get Tom's vote, and that was a disaster. Johnny and Tom got into a pretty big argument because Tom still feels some kind of way about the time when Johnny was supervillain and almost put Tom on the block. Even though he ended up not doing that, Tom is still very upset about it. Johnny felt like Tom was handling the situation like a bitch, and Johnny at one point even felt like it was fighting words, and they were lucky they were in the house because Tom wouldn't talk that way to him outside of the house. But that seemed to save Paul's ass, even though Drita, who was like, in my opinion, the best strategic thinker in that house this season, which does surprise me, but maybe shouldn't be that surprising. She sees it as that, like, if they keep Johnny this week over Paul, Tom still has a problem with Johnny, and that could be more drama for Tom, Tyson, and Johnny altogether. So Drita was trying to rally the votes to keep Johnny. She was also just trying to be loyal to Johnny. The problem with Drita's game this season seems to be she always has great ideas. She sees the board. She sees the strategies. Nobody ever listens to her, though. She doesn't seem to have the social capital in the house this season to get the votes the way she needs them to go. So while that was a good idea, and even during Johnny's speech, he and Tom got into it again because Johnny was saying if they keep him, Tom is his only enemy in the house. They got into another fight there. And then Paul's speech was interrupted by New York calling Paul a liar, saying Paul's still not being real. And yet, everyone except Drita voted Johnny out over Paul, which was even a surprise to Paul. So it was just a big surprise vote altogether. The editing definitely made it that way too, because they were really leaning towards Johnny staying with the editing. But I am glad to see Johnny go over Paul, not just because, Big Brother Paul gets to fight another day, even though he needs to start playing far better and less sloppy. But as I've been saying for episodes now, Johnny is not good TV on these competition shows, so I'm glad to see him go. If only we could get Pointless Christine to go out after him. But next week it looks like there's some drama for Kate and Tom, so Kate this week seemed to be trying to save Tom from Tyson, while it might backfire on Kate next week. But this was a really entertaining episode. I think the gameplay has gotten better. I like that everyone is playing pretty hard, except for Christine now. We're still left with her boring ass. But here's hoping for another entertaining episode next week.